Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you might be. Thank you for joining us. I am Tomiko Dagan, the Senior Vice President of the Universal Peace Federation USA and the coordinator for the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development, in short, IAPD USA. IAPD is one of the associations of the Universal Peace Federation, which is a non-governmental organization that has general consultative status in the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. IAPD hosts various programs such as this that bring together leading experts to examine the possibilities for enhancing relations in the South Pacific region. The IAPD Peace Program provides track 2 diplomacy, also known as a soft power. This involves engaging people to people in person and working toward peace, particularly peace and unification on the Korean Peninsula. We are looking forward to this webinar series as a great opportunity to gain more knowledge and about the issues and challenges and ultimately develop the courage and commitment to make this world a better place. I'm honored now. I would like to invite our today's program moderator, Dr. Michael Jenkins, President of UPF International and the Chairman of UPF United States. So let us welcome Dr. Michael Jenkins. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Tomiko Duggan, our Senior Vice President and the architect of this incredible Interreligious Association for Peace and Development. We respect all faiths. It's an association of the Universal Peace Federation. It's in every continent and it's developed so much under her leadership, not only in the United States, but globally. And we're really honored to have our program today for you, which is going to cover North Korea. And we're also going to look at the possibilities of opening up dialogue and further development. Our guest speaker today is Dr. Sung-Ho Lee. He's the president of the prestigious DMZ Forum, which has been running successfully for many years. It's dedicated, the nonprofit DMZ Forum is dedicated to conserving the cultural and biological resources of the Korean DMZ, Demilitarized Zone. He was a lecturer for graduate level courses at NYU's Graduate School of Public Service and directed research and training programs for official delegations from overseas. In addition, he did research on intergovernmental relations, state and local politics, and fiscal issues. Dr. Lee received his PhD in political science and public policy from SUNY, the State University of New York. You're going to really enjoy his presentation because he has done enormous work. When there was an opening for North Korea and from international delegations to go with him into the North to help to plant trees and develop the ecology there, it was going so well. The border's been closed for the last few years, but we do have hope. It will open again, and Dr. Lee's going to be ready with thousands of volunteers from the United States and all over the world to go there and plant trees to really develop the ecology, develop also the river systems and everything. So I want you to welcome with me Dr. Sung-Ho Lee. Welcome, Dr. Lee. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins, for the kind introduction. And I'm so honored to speak at the IAPD Peace Forum. And especially I'm thankful for Mrs. Dugan for inviting me for this important event. So I'll try to open my PowerPoint, just bear in mind.
Wonderful.
Okay, so today's title is Peaceful Reunification of South and North Korea. in Korean is 평화적 남북 통일, South and North Korea. So the subtitle is Reforestation of North Korea for Environmental Sustainability and the UN Peace Zone for Harmonious Interdependence. So interdependence in Korean means 공생, interdependence. So as you see here, this is Korean peninsula. This is called Baekdu-daegan. It is a continuous mountain range spanning entire Korean peninsula. It's just seamlessly interconnected, as you see. So in terms of environmental sustainability, inter-Korean forest cooperation is really essential. But the reality is it is divided in half after the Korean War. We'll talk about that later. So especially in North Korea, this is a map of North Korea only. And here is Anju city, Pyeongan-namdo. So especially Anju faces a chronic flooding because of deforestation rate far higher than the rest of the country in North Korea, like a 47%, very severe rate of deforestation, causing a lot of trouble, flooding. This is kind of deforestation, devastation. This is the flooding a decade ago. This is Anju Public Library. And the housings and buses submerged underwater. Then why? Why deforestation? Because it's a decades of converting mountains like this into a crop fields because people are starving for food. They cut the trees and make it into a crop fields. Along with that, people cut the trees for fuel purpose, especially during the winter like this. So what I learned is not just tree planting, we need to think about how to resolve the issue of food and fuel. So I went to North Korea. This is Pyongyang Central Nursery Farm initially to plant trees in the North Korean fields and mountains. So we grow like this tree nurseries. So we did that, and the Kim Jong-un proclaimed himself as a central commander of tree planting war here, and he imagined this tree nursery as a bullet. And then we did this kind of activities in North Korea. Just a little bit of activities. I'm going to share just a few seconds. Yeah, views are really barren. Okay, so to save time, so as I said, we need to deal with food and fuel. So the DMH Forum, try to work with agricultural reform in North Korea. I visited Pyongyang again. But look at this. This is a minivan I used. Is a gas station in Pyongyang and made in North Korea, this minivan. There are many cars made in North Korea. Why? Maybe you remembered Washington Post reported 1991 Reverend Moon's visit to North Korea meeting with Kim Il-sung. And Reverend Moon's Tongil Group made a huge investment into North Korea. It's the auto industry. It's not a small investment because auto industry is considered comprehensive industry. You know what I'm saying? It's comprised of many relevant industries like, steel and machinery and electronics, tires and rubber industries, and even garment industries and battery. Now North Korea is making electric cars. So I think we need to discuss something about why. why Reverend Moons invest so hugely into North Korea. Some say Reverend Moon is anti-communist, victory over communism. You know, right now in South Korea is unprecedentedly extreme conflicts and confrontation between left wing and right wing. I hope we can discuss about Reverend Moon's so-called head-wing thought, even though, generally we consider ourselves as conservatives, but we try to help North Korea economically in this immense way. So what does it mean by head-wing approach rather than left-wing and right-wing? We consider ourselves, even though right-wings. So I, visited this Masikryong ski resort, and I heard that this Masikryong ski resort is also helped by a Tongil group to build this ski resort and hotel. But their agricultural situation is so bad, they're using this kind of cow for cultivation still. So we try to help some kind of potato field in the area of Sepo Dungpan, just north of DMZ. I'll show it later. And then, we visited from Pyongyang, drove to Wonsan here. It's a birthplace of Kim Jong-un. He tried to turn it into a resort city. And then below that, there is Anbyeon rice fields, huge rice fields. So DMG Forum and other organizations, help reform agriculture to produce more rices. And in return, we kind of ask them to leave some crops after harvesting for this kind of birds migrating from DMZ areas here to over here during the winter. That's one really amazing project we did successfully with local farmers.
Yes.
And there is a Gosan area here.
Awesome.
This is a Gosan apple farm. At first, I thought it's kind of a, tomb, but it is apple farm. But this area is a Sepodungpan, and the DMZ is over here. So one thing I want to, emphasize is that in order to be successful in reforestation, tree planting, we need to, help people for their need of food and fuel. Otherwise, cannot be successful, as we have seen in the case of South Korea. South Korea is one of the most successful example of reforestation in the world. So there are many cooperative aspects we need to examine between South and North Korea in that regard. Now I want to talk about this area called DMZ that I visited many times. Although it looks like a line, it is an area like a 4 by 250 kilometers, 250 kilometers here and 4 kilometers north and south. But there's an area called civilian control zone that is below. So the area is not really small. The area is rather, broad area. As you know that the area is created by, unfortunate ceasefire after the Korean War in July 1953. So now it passed more than 70 years. So there's no peace treaty. So there's a tense military conflicts. So northern half of DMZ, like a 2 kilometers of north of DMZ, has more than 14,000 North Korean artilleries. They proclaim that they can make Seoul a sea of fire without any missile deployment. This is a really threatening artilleries. Nothing probably could stop those artilleries. It's only 37 miles. What about southern half of DMZ? It is controlled by U.S. Army under the command of UN command, but UN commander is US Army General. Since the end of Korean War, like this. So after the Korean War, as you imagine, the areas of DMZ was kind of a, memorial site itself, because the war was fought for the last 2 years only in that area after the stalemate. So DMZ itself should be a memorial site like this after the Chinese intervention for 2 years only in this area, divested like this old area. But what happened in the next 70 years? Nature reclaimed itself, regenerated itself. Even tiger, footsteps, dozens of leopards, black bears, lynx, emerald growl, and
Wow.
more than 51 animal species. And then especially red-crowned, white-necked cranes, and this kind of endangered bird species, and fish species, and especially mountain Kumgang, North Korea, and Sorak, South Korea, is merged in the DMZ area. So we were fascinated by this development. That's why we call it a accidental paradise. And we formed a forum in 1997 as a nonprofit 501c3 in New York State. And then our mission is to turn the Korean DMZ into UN peace zone as a nature and peace sanctuary for healing and education. But especially this part I added after I learning from Reverend Moon's speech later. So since then, I've been actively providing scientific inquiry, expert, strategic planning, and increasing awareness through media approach of these biological and cultural resources, transforming it from war zone to a peace zone among humans, between humans, among humans, and between humans and nature. So as I said, 3 years later, Reverend Sun Myung-moon made a wonderful speech in 2000 in New York UN headquarters. He clearly said the entire DMZ should be turned into a peace zone under UN jurisdiction, making and building exhibition halls, museums, educational sites, and peace parks. And again, in 2015, in Vienna, Austria, Dr. Hak Ja-han made a wonderful speech, and she said, we propose transforming the Korean DMZ into a world peace park, especially accompanied by the establishment of the 5th UN office.
Yes.
Proposal. Wow. So keep that in mind. We should have no doubt accomplishing this DMZ peace park. And then what about Pastor Paula White's support? You can read this. And then DMZ Forum board of directors are top diplomats like Ambassador Bosworth and scientists, public policy advocates, and natural scientists. And especially I want to remember Dr. Westing.
Oh, yes.
He wrote a report to UNEP in 1993 that actually inspired me to form the DMZ Forum. The title is Transfrontier Reserves for Peace and Nature, a Contribution to Human Security. Actually, he was about to visit North Korea in 1993, but he was not able to because of, nuclear problems, arised at the time. And currently, our board members are composed of expertise from diverse fields, like a plant from Harvard University,
Wonderful.
history major, energy and environment, and anthropology, and biology professors are current active board members. We are ready for move ahead. And then media outreach that in South Korea, 동아일보, front page, 중앙일보, and Wall Street Journal front page here. In Asahi Shimbun, we actively promoting. What about this title? Bitter no man's land, Korea's DMZ considers a haven for rare animals. Now it's beginning to spread to the public worldwide. And the CNN report, Beyond Barbed Wire, the accidental paradise of the DMZ. And again, heavily DMZ separating. North and South Korea has become a wildlife haven. Again, CNN. And BBC actually broadcasted actual, live black bear is captured in the motion camera in the DMZ. And the CNN crew and I kind of dare to track the tiger footprints in the nearby DMZ area. And then there's a National Geographic special edition for the Korean DMZ. So it is worldwide attention now. So Asia Pacific Journal focusing on turning the Korean DMZ as a World Heritage Site. So there are many other outreach. And look at this. The UN Secretary General supported our mission, and UNESCO World Heritage Site, supported DMZ as a, UNESCO World Heritage Site, and UNEP supported, and Jimmy Carter, who just passed away, supported our mission, and President Nelson Mandela, many people. So former Minister of Unification of South Korea, Professor Charles Armstrong, Columbia University, and many NYU president, former president, and Congressman Kurt Weldon from Pennsylvania, and the businessman like Chung Mong-jun of Hyundai Heavy Industries, many people, especially famous Professor E.O. Wilson said that Korean DMZ is like Yosemite and Gettysburg's rolled together. So I, couldn't forget his remarks. And Cora Weiss and John Klotz from Sierra Club supported. And, the businessman like Ted Turner was about to make huge investment, but because of North Korean nuclear issue, prevent him from investing more. But his vision is also great at the time. Now I'd like to, conclude. So in the last, especially 30 years, the DMZ Forum and all these people wholeheartedly, no doubt about the importance of DMZ as a, natural haven for lots of animals, endangered animals. But it is also a good place for peace among humans. So how we can reconcile South and North Korea. But as you see, the southern part of DMZ is controlled by U.S. Army, actually U.S. President. But unfortunately, North Korea has been considered like an evil state, and we cannot talk with the evil. But, oversign is President Trump, kind of broke that kind of, image making in his first term, although it was not successful to open North Korea. But in the upcoming administration, President Trump, we hope that U.S. view on North Korea and U.S. view in that regard, U.S. view on Korean DMZ can be different from previous administration in the last, 30 and even 70 years. That's my sincere hope. And kind of vision statement is that just like Reverend Sun Myung-moon envisioned, it can be a healing and education zone. So it is can be a cultural and even religious healing and education, soft power that IAPD Peace Forum is advocating, a soft power approach. So it can be a complete vaccine for all types of conflicts for human beings. That's why I actually titled this my presentation in other lecture series as the only way to world peace. The U.S., North and South Korean reunification is the only way to world peace, including this kind of cultural approach of Hallyu that I explained in other format, and the fifth UN office and DMG Peace Park. So I really hope that the IAPD, members and other people who, listen to this lecture like to help the United States have different approach to the Korean Peninsula and especially the Korean DMZ. And thank you, and I'd like to discuss more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. What an excellent, excellent presentation. So I'd like to open the floor now for questions and answers with Dr. Lee.
Well, Dr. Jenkins, I can see Mr. Shin is available now.
Oh, wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. Okay, we'll go to Mr. Shin and then we'll go to some questions and answers. Thank you, Dale Garrett. We'll come back to you in a minute. We're honored to present to you our next speaker, and I'm very, very pleased to introduce you. Just one moment, please. I'm going to introduce Dr. Shin right now. Okay, so we're very also honored to present Mr. James Daniel Shin, President of the U.S. Korea Associations of Washington Resources International Care of America, Incorporated. He's a board director of the Asia American Coalition for Education. He's a pastor and registered Republican. And congratulations on being a Republican. Your president is now going to be sworn in next Monday.
Yeah.
We're going to attend, and an immigrant from South Korea with a broad network of Korean American communities nationwide. He's very well known on YouTube and Washington Shimbaksa, creator, former chair of the election committee of Gene Yu congressional campaign for Georgia's 4th district, and expert in minority election and fundraising chairperson. I'd like everyone to welcome with me at this time Mr. James Daniel Shin. Welcome, Mr. Shin. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank
Hello.
you.
Thank you for having me. Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
Well, thank you for inviting me and have me up there and opportunity to speak to people. Probably we need about we were talking about the unification of South and North Korea. So, where do you want me to start?
I think on the current situation and how you how we can really also plan for the future when we're able to come back and go back to North Korea. I know that day will open. It doesn't look like it's going to be soon, but maybe before that though, your background and how you got to this involvement with trying to help the North Korea and South Korea come back together.
All right. So first of all, I'm a 1.5 generation, I believe, like 1.25. Been here about 46 years. I was in high school. The basically background I have is old time when like 60. I was born in the 60 area. And when I grown up with the military bases, which is President Park was controlling all the country. And then we got, I don't want to say brainwashed, but we have a lot of education for, how to against communism and how to, became economically. And so we have a lot of training, military training when we were a kid because we're ready for, maybe different war. That's my background growing up. And then when I was like 17, I came to the United States. So I have all total, my brain is for countries and, of course, other side, we always want to be in being a one Korea, which is unification. And, we made a songs and everything, we're singing. And at the time was a very, very, want to back to see our family, which is divided half and half. And we have a lot of movement was on. But, I came to the U.S. and then try to find help this North Korean. They are immigrants to U.S., which is Washington D.C. area. So I have about several, maybe under 10 people that don't want to be identified. They self became they are in the American and green card holder or citizen. So I'm related to a lot of North Korean, and plus my mother is North Korea, from the North Korea, which is North Pyongyang-do, and which is her aunt, is the name is well, I'd like to mention because her last name is Mo, means like Mo Zedong, same Mo, and she was a very famous in Korea. I think she was a delegate by government for unification, for president in Korea one time. So basically, I'm telling you, it's like my father is South Korean, my mother is North Korean. I got grown up by communists, what the communists are, and what the North and South Korea is divided. So I got pretty much educated and come back, and I forgot a lot of things, but now I'm, find out that Korea one right now, the prospectively unification is kind of a little left out because of the politics what's going on in Korea. Kind of. I'm thinking they have to go through one of a kind of democrats, the process they have to go through from the different Democrats in Korea, which is I'm talking about. The military was controlling at the time. Somebody try to say something? No. Okay. So basically, I'd like to mention that we all want to be unification with being a one Korea. So there's a lot of things we are involving. Just 1 second. I got to get there. Okay. So basically, what history background was, we had to have a base to it because we got divided by not our wish. So basically, Korea was attacked by other countries for more than 300 times, 3,000 times, but we still survived. So I wish I can have one more time. We have one country that became a strong, characterized, country. So basically, we have a background was the politics, which is Korean War, which is Russia and China, and then us and the UN and America. So I mean, all kind of things. So I like to say we not try to want to be divided by half and half, but that we want to be one. So basically, we don't. Basically, the politics was make a divide us. So necessary the unification, yes, we need a necessary to become unification. First thing is ideologically integration, which is give them a historical shared identity as a single ethnic group. Unification can be viewed as natural process ideologically. The second is economically, which is benefit we're going to have when we get a unification. If unification occurs, there is an expectation for a lot of economic growth from the combination from North Korea resources and South Korea technology. And then, the challenge in unification is, political conflict we have right now, and then we have a social integration and a financial burden, which we always talk about the three issues all the time. We don't want to be one country, I wish, but we need some help from politically, which is China had to be agreed, Russia had to be agreed, maybe Japan had to be agreed. I mean, once we said, well, we're going to be one country, we might have a problem with economically, and people who are investing a lot of things in Korea, maybe they want to, maybe they feel not safe, so maybe they go away. Maybe other hand, bunch of nations going to be invested in Korea to develop or advance technology and everything. So financially, we have burden. Yes, another one is because as you see, our economy is totally different, North Korea and South Korea right now. So how we're going to became all of a sudden unification was a core. Then how we're going to be control this economically? They have well, basically, fundamentally, they have a food issue, which is they need to have a food. And as you see comparison when we're looking at it, there are like average, I think, height 165, 170 under. That's man's average height. And Korea is like 174, 175 is centimeter, the height. So I'm trying to find out, physically they don't eat much, so they are kind of poor. So somehow we have to be one country, then we have to be supply the food, what they need. But is South Korea is ready or is North Korea ready? That's the thing. So I mentioned three things: political conflict we have, social integration, and then we have financial burden. We have to solve the three things. And we have like a regional and international context. The role of a neighborhood country, which is essentially considered as the unification, will change the political and economically landscape of a surrounding nation. Just like I just mentioned it, China, United States of America, Russia, all the countries involved. So that is, we have to solve the one problem, convince these people. Very important right now, security issue we have, which is the resolving security issue, as you know, such as North Korea have a nuclear weapons, will be key in the unification process. I think that's the most important thing too. So I want to mention that about the security issue. And then we need diagram the cooperation, which is mutual understanding. The cooperation between North and South Korea, essentially, primarily, step towards the achieving of unification, which is probably need for civic engagement, which is we have to be culturally engaged from outside of Korea, which is the U.S., any country. We see North Korean, we can approach them and share the same, our culture, and make sure we do the one blood ethnic, which is the one blood people. So we keep putting the input to the people. We are the family, one family, and we want to be unified. So we can start working on the outside of the North and South Korea. So we have to have some kind of a system that we start working on right now. So basically what I'm thinking is right now, the prospect of unification, we need that the three the conflict we have to be solved economically, politically, and culturally. So that's the issue that we have to how to overcome. The most important thing right now is the Korea having a trouble with the political that both parties. They have to come together. So that is the first thing Korea have to be, the face right now.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, so that is have to be solved. And unification, if I was as concerned, I see the young generation, we have to be convinced the young generation education. Why do we need to, why Korea need to be one country? I mean, it will be amazing. It will be help for the world. So we can have a North Korea resources with technology in South Korea. I think a lot of countries, people don't want to be together within unification because they are threatened by economically or military-wise. We're getting stronger and stronger. So I think a lot of people, we have a lot of conflict with those people. They don't want to be being in one country. So that is, I'm trying to concentrating to how I want to be convinced the young people. So first of all, we have to educate people for why Korean War started, why we divided, and how tell them how we can become a one country. So three kind of things we have to go through the conflict. And then basically what I can do is in America is try to get the North Koreans and get together and they have a family in North Korea. So let them know what's going on outside. A lot of people want to unify South and North Korea, but we have a slight problem we have to solve. But we can get together, connect together with the North Korean outside. And basically we are connect together means basically religious one, we have to love each other, means solve everything. It's not just like love, but we care each other. We're the same blood people. We have a special DNA, can survive that much attack from outsider.
That's
And we still,
amazing
yeah,
analysis. Yes,
yeah, and
we believe that.
yeah, I love, I'm respecting my elder people, first generation. I mean, they've been suffering of food, suffering losing of their family, sorrow, and economically disaster, just nothing in Korea because all the bomb, UN, I mean, they've been for 2, 3 years bombing everywhere. As you know, Korea is not that big. It's like a quarter size of a Texas, and it's been half and half, the South and North Korea. That's amazing. We have a lot of things, happening in Korea, sports-wise, culture-wise, like BTS, being famous. There's the movie or drama, it's K-pop. I mean, it's amazing stuff going on, but we are forgetting about the unification. Just not being a South Korea became a good. We have to think about one country better, make a better country. Then we
Wonderful.
can have better service to the world, and we can show the world this the country that was being attacked for so many years, but they get together, and they show the people how they became a unified Korea. It became a very successful country in the world. And plus, not only us, then we can help other countries have a problem with conflict.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So they can help. We can help. Idea we can exchange. So my conclusion is yes, unification is a merely political issue. Yes, but is there any complex problem that must be addressed? Yes, the comprehensively from the historical, my mouth getting dry, economics and culture prospects. So therefore, we're essentially establishing our shared vision and alternate for unification that reason with all Korean.
Oh,
So
Mr. Shin, thank you
Thank you.
so much. This is just an excellent, excellent presentation from a real American Korean. You're both, and I love that DNA because we have quite an affection and cooperation with Korean people, as our founders are Korean, and I can testify that DNA. Nobody can beat that Korean DNA through all the suffering and 800 plus invasions by other countries. It never lost its homogeneity. It never lost its language. It's an amazing thing. So go ahead, Mr. Shin, final remark. But we're
yeah,
going to turn to both you and also Dr. Lee for some questions. So right after your final remark, I'd like to present some questions from the
yeah.
audience.
Okay. The last my words want to say something about the well. You mentioned about DNA. I'm really thankful God or my ancestors. They've been more than I think more than 800 officially. We are talking about more than 5,000 years. So we're
Yeah.
talking about so many invasions. We're still surviving, and they're survivor. People almost die, everybody, but the survivor and survivor
Yeah.
for DNA. That's me now. So I'm so thankful for our ancestors that survived for us. I mean, if they weren't there, no DNA there for surviving, I think I'm not here right now. So I'm very thankful for my parents, grandpa. They fight for the country. Unfortunately, we're divided in half and half, but we will get there. And somehow we're going to get there.
True. So
Like
true.
I mentioned, yeah, those things we have to solve. Then we'll be a one. And
Well,
save up
Mr.
neighbors.
Shin, thank you. In 1962, uh, the Republic of Korea was the second poorest nation on earth. It was unbelievable. So I have a few questions right now. We're
Yep.
going to turn to Dr. Lee really quickly. From Pierre Beauregard. Question for Dr. Lee. As North Korea is slowly reopening the border, citizens of some countries can gradually visit the country again. So, do you think you will be able to start again your DMZ Forum tree planting program sometime in the near future?
Hi, Pierre. Thank you for the great question. And we have signs of hope in the northern side of North Korea, actually the Russian territory, because there have been recently close contact between Russia and North Korea, and as you see the ending of Russia-Ukraine war, assuming that it'll be ending, then the Russia will be coming more focusing on Asia rather than Europe, because we assume that there'll be a long line of so-called DMZ between Russia and Ukraine in ending the war. So we kind of imagine that means that Russia will be becoming more Asian nation and becoming more interested in Asian development. In that regard, Russia and North Korean relations will becoming much deeper. And one more thing is Russia is very much interested in investing from South Korea, because Russia historically has a good relations with both North and South Korea, because Russia needs South Korean technologies and investment. And obviously right now, Russia needs North Korean, artilleries and soldiers. But in that regard, signs of hope come from Russia, and then rather than from China, that we have been doing in the last 10 years. So that we are now working on kind of making a fields for tree nursery farm in Russian territory, just north of North Korea, and that there are more open relations and more frequent relations between Russia and North Korea. So we are working on that. So there, I'm very much working on now with some North Korean contacts and our Korean nationals in Russia, in Vladivostok. So that's a very good question. I very much hope that so U.S. citizen can visit North Korea in the very near future.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lee. Mr. Shen, Alan Jessen has sent a very good question. Dear Mr. Shen, economist Byung-Yun Kim has written about the possible collapse and transition of the Kim regime. Do you think trade liberalization to a more market economy may drive Kim toward an inevitable integration?
What's his name? Kim? Who talking about Kim?
Kim Jong-un.
Oh, Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Right now, basically, we are between the process. What is Kim Jong-un willing to do? Because what I'm perspective from the U.S. Korean American. What issue is the nuclear weapons that he had to do something about it with all the country that UN and everybody worry about people what he's going to do about the bomb. They're thinking about they're going to sell the bomb to somebody else, and I mean all kind of things. But the answer is I really don't know what's going to be happening. But I just have to be watch careful what the movements are. But my job or my thing is right here, try to get a lot of North Koreans get together so we get one voice to let them, Kim Jong-un, know about what we want. The South Korea, same thing. What we know about wants to be our mind and outsider, which is North and South Korea, and together. So I don't know if that will be answer on that.
Very good. Very good. Alan, you're there. Do you want to follow up on Byung-Yun Kim's statements or writings?
Me?
No, I just mentioned Alan Jessen, but let's go ahead and we'll come back to Alan. Wayne Hankins just gave a wonderful question for Dr. Lee. What are your thoughts on why Kim Jong-un, Chairman Kim, has turned against reunification of Korea and spurning all attempts of cooperation, burning the bridges, destroying the railroads, destroying the highways?
That's
Why?
a wonderful question. And one thing clear is that North Korean Kim Jong-un and its regime is very much afraid of South Korean cultural infusion, especially young people. So it is cultural, so-called cultural war, against South Korea, just cutting off all types of cultural interaction, no unification, no any, flow of any cultural movement from South Korean dramas, K-pops and whatever. So it is because obviously North Korea is very much afraid of South Korean cultural power, and that is essentially why North Korea, turned against all unification cooperation. That in that regard, I think we don't want a sudden collapse of North Korean regime from DMZ Forum perspective, because as I said, we want harmonious interdependence in unification process. That's 공생. So in order to do that, we need to engage North Korean regime into a right spot to be ready for ultimate peaceful reunification, rather than absorbing North Korea, trying to absorbing North Korea into one system abruptly. So that's why we need some kind of, in between the North and South Korea, we need UN peace zone for a little bit time of interdependence between the two Koreas.
Well,
That's
thank you.
it's
Very good. Mr. Shin,
Yes, sir.
we're really curious about Kim Jong-un. Do you think President Trump is going to visit him this year, in the
Well,
first year of his presidency? He wants to.
yeah, I think the last meeting was in Vietnam, and well, let me tell. Well, if I have a few minutes, we have a story that background. In the United States, we have a dividend country, dividend nation. They have the association called, and that's typically all Americans that wish to be, unification in Korea. And they asked me before go to Trump see the Kim Jong Un, can you make a little video clip to show to Trump that how many North Koreans who have a U.S. citizen, which is they fight with the American and Korean War. So one of the person was born in 1924, and I have a video clip. If you have a moment, you can have a share that, and we all gonna be all together. And then if everything was success at the Vietnam at the time, I know Kim Jong Un turned around. You don't want to see all of a sudden he stopped seeing Trump. But at the time, we sent a video that everybody wants to be there in North Korea, U.S. citizens and North Koreans. They are involved in the Korean War. So we select about 50 people, and we're supposed to fly to the United Airlines and get 50 the official and those North Koreans straight to the Pyongyang and meet these people and meet their family. So without South Korea was involved, but we destroyed that. So basically, Kim Jong Un is. Want to speak to him? Well, right now I don't think so because Soviet was heavily involved together. But I understand Trump is a good friend with Putin too. So I have no idea, but I wish he can speak to him again and open up the port again. Because as you see, he's shutting down South Korea and China, everything. He tried to show something that being I'm up honor to Russia. I mean, that's what I'm feeling.
Very good. Yeah, no,
Mr.
you're
Shem,
very good. Yes.
Mr. Shem, would you like to us to show just video clip? You mentioned that American citizens is asking the Trump asking for the unification of Korea, North and South.
First step they want to be all together, all there. Yeah.
Shall we
Do you
show
have
it,
a short
Dr.
video
James?
you want to show?
I don't. Do you have a clip I sent it to you? Can you play?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's about 2 minutes. So
Make a full screen. Make it full screen, please.
트럼프 대통령이 저는 이현준입니다. 4월 22일 1927년생입니다. 제가 출생지는 평안북도 운산군 운산면 송현동이라고 군소재이에요. 제 이북의 부일은 1931년 1월 10일이에요, 생일이. 걔 이름이 이덕영이에요. 큰 독자 기령자. 내가 영어를 못해도 시리즈입니다. 여기서 사는 지가 40년이 넘었습니다. 저희들을 도와주세요. 동물들도 사랑하고 사는데 제가 벌써 이게 70년이 됩니다. 20세 청춘에 해는 사람들 보고 싶은 거에 눈물이 말랐어요. 부모 처자식을 버리고 와서 내가 무슨 복을 받았다고 이렇게 살아있어요. 회개하라고 살아있는 것 같은데 아무쪼록 하나님 아버지 저희 서울 정말 도와주옵소서. 하나님 아버지 모든 전쟁을 그만하고 삽시다. 모든 여기 미주 거주자들 많이 도와주세요. 간절히 부탁합니다. 대통령님.
Well, kind of emotional stuff. Yeah. Every time when I look at this video, I can't stop feeling.
Yeah. That's what we pray that we will end. And I think that President Trump does give us the most hope that this border is going to be opened up. He said his number one priority is to go meet Kim Jong-un, and he feels some heart-to-heart connection. He doesn't just look at it politically, and we pray for that. But I want to thank you, Mr. Shin, and also Mr. Lee. This has been a most moving episode. Mr. Lee, your work to plant millions of trees to save the Korean ecology and the people with it, so beautiful. Mr. Shin, it was an honor to have you here today sharing so much. And the DNA of Korean people is the strongest DNA in the universe. I would agree with that. And God bless you all. Thank you to Tomiko and our audience. Thank you for your questions. Tomiko, any final words? Let's give our Dr. Lee and also
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Lee
Wonderful,
and Mr.
wonderful.
Shin. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes. It's again, this really provides an opportunity to learn and to get more knowledge and to know more what's going on behind, behind the country where we cannot visit so easily. But thank you so much, Dr. Lee
Thank
and
you.
Mr. Shin. We are looking forward to working together with you to really see peace zone in your
Thank you. Thank you,
DMZ.
Tomiko.
Thank you so much. Thank
You
you,
moved
audience.
everybody's hearts, Mr. Shin and Miss Dr. Lee. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Tomiko.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
so
you so
much.
Thank
much.
you, everybody.
Thank
We
you.
learned a lot today. And
We
we'll be
learned a
back
lot.
together. We'll be inviting you soon to speak even in live settings at the Washington Times. Thank you.
Wonderful.
you.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Wow.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chen, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you,
Wow.
Mr.
What a
Student.
great day. Thank you,
Thank you.
UPF.